Hello everybody, welcome back to AI War Fleet Command. It's time for a little bit of defending here. I did a few things off screen. One, I did a raid into NHL, which is where the latest Super Hybrid was, and that did not go particularly well. So I had a bunch of reprisals that got dumped on me, and then I also lost a bunch of metal in the refleeting. Now I did eventually succeed in that, and it didn't wipe out my fleet. It's just they had a plasma eye in there, which limited how many ships I could take in. There was a pretty rough system to get in there, so it was not the easiest set of groups to deal with. And then in between, as I decided to wait for the next set of attacks, I also knocked out another hybrid hive spawner and some other stuff like that in Pluto. So that's 3 of those down. There's still quite a few more in the galaxy, I'm sure, but I do feel like we're gradually wearing it down. Don't know how much good it's doing, but obviously the less hybrids that are around, that's going to be better for us. We have the CPA just about to arrive, our second one, and that's 950 or so ships. And there's also an exogalactic strike force decided to synchronize with it, and that meant that it only went up to about 90%. Now the way the timing is going on these, it's kind of interesting. It's taking long enough to have the exo force spool up that as frequently as we get the CPAs, less than 3 hours in this difficulty, it actually looks like they're going to be synchronizing pretty much all the time. So anyway, that does mean it probably won't build up to full strength. Now over here is where the CPA has formed and is heading through in Europa, and this is a mess. This is a great system to completely avoid at basically all costs. One, we've got several of the Spire frigates, so there's 7 of them altogether between those 3 types. This is just in here going wherever it's going, and then there's 75 of the Riot Control, not to mention the fact that it's got the Dark Spire Vengeance generator. So yeah, staying away completely, but this looks like it's headed for Maki Maki, which is the main thing I was coming in here to look at. Now once it hits here, it's 2 jumps away from either Papagena and Radislava. I've split up my fleet between those 2 spots. The other thing I'm concerned with is the Super Hybrid, because I don't know where it is. I did a little bit more scouting, wasn't able to find it, and I'm worried that it's sitting somewhere building something that I'm not going to like, and that I just don't know that because I can't see where it is. But first things first, obviously we've got to deal with this impending attack. So here's our wonderful exo-wave coming to smash our homeworld. Now, there's not a lot of ships, but what there are is a bunch of shadow frigates. A dozen of them, no, make that 16 of them. More than that. 9, 10, 6, yeah, okay. 16 shadow frigates and a few other things. And those just the drones from those, I think. So, if we take a look out this way, this is where the carrier is, and it's headed this way slowly. But yeah, we've got another problem first. We've got to see if we can hold this off or if we're all going to die. I'm just going to try to place my fleet directly in the way. And the gravity turret's having their effect. But taking out 16 of these is not a small task. We are taking some damage back there, but not a lot. Yep, there goes all the turrets. Thankfully, everything's up. Okay, so, oh, there's more. Yes, there's more. How wonderful. How many do we have here? 5, 6, 9, 4. Okay, basically we're going to do the same thing all over again, except we don't have any gravity turrets. That could be a problem. Yeah, well, I don't think there's anything for it but to do the same thing again. And just hope we can, there's that first one going down. You just got to try to take out enough of them so they can't annihilate me. And I don't think we're going to. Goodness, I don't have anything else to send in here. Because I need all of you to get in here and get in their way. Come on, blow them up. Blow them up, please. Yeah, that's shrinking fast, but their numbers are shrinking. This can be really close. Yeah, I mean, you can see, like, the command station's okay, but they almost took down our force fields, and they blew up a lot of other stuff in here. Okay. So, yeah, the champion Nemesis exo-wave. They smash you with large numbers of shadow frigates. And, of course, we can expect the next one to be worse, and that was only a 90%. If it had charged up all the way, we probably would have lost. Super. Well, now we get to try to rebuild. So while I was pondering the fact that I almost just lost, humanity almost was just wiped out, and also the fact that how are we going to deal with it when those waves get stronger, the CPA carrier rather decided to, you know what, there's plenty of you in there, I'm going to work back around to Papagena. So my fleet went back to Papagena, got there just in time to dissuade them, and now they're just sort of sitting here in Ganymede waiting for us. But we don't have any metal, so we got to rebuild and deal with that. And meanwhile, the super hybrid is settled on Mars, which we've seen before. We've been there before, so all we'll have to do is go in there and knock it out. So we've definitely got some cleanup to do, but right now I've just got to wait for the metal to catch up and the fleet to rebuild. Before all this started, I got rid of one of my matter converters rather, but I need the other one. So I'm just sort of waiting, and we've got to catch up on metal, and there's nothing else for it. So, after several minutes of rebuilding, we had our fleet back. Now, of course, we're in Ganymede here. Our next job, knocking out the CPA, which is right there. I'm going to try to do a fighting retreat here. Get rid of the hybrids and, you know, like, take out the Raptors in front. Take them out piece by piece as much as we can. And, of course, they have 900 plus low-mark ships. So, individually, they're not that great, but this was not a time for subtlety. This was one big blob of death versus another blob of death. And we've lost, there's our first reprisal. We've lost almost 200 ships. Now we have lost 200 ships. Came in about 650 to 700. And they could keep coming. So I'm just going to try to keep gradually falling back until the numbers are a little better for us. Yeah, and we're pretty much all of our fleet ships clearly going to die here. Hybrids are attacking Papagena. That's not good. Let's take a look at how many they sent. They got 25 of them. This could be trouble. Let's see what happens here. Now we're taking out some of them. Got some Zenith reprocessors, a few other things thrown in the mix. Of course, those are probably just their subships or whatever. And yeah, and our shields are going down. They still have 23 hybrids. I don't think we're going to survive this. Nope. So maybe I try a different strategy. Maybe I clean out more of the nearby hybrids before trying to make that attempt. The next step was basically a galactic game of ring around the rosy. Because if I committed too many fleets to an attack, the hybrids would still come in. Or the CPA group would just take a back route and go attack Bratislava. Now eventually I did get enough hybrids cleared out and then narrowed down in Fat Samurai, the CPA, back by the homeworld. That's where they decided to hang out, but they weren't quite ready to attack with some of my fleet in there. And then I got this lovely thing, 750 ships dumped on me in a form of a reprisal. So then I hurry back in here with what little ships I have left, because there isn't much. I'm totally out of metal. I'm going to be out of metal for a while. And basically I'm just trying to keep all these lovely, and a lot of them are Zenith reprocessors that are left. Super great. I'm just trying to wipe these out, which we will eventually succeed in doing. And then we can rebuild. But multiple times here we came very, very close to losing significant things, if not the game. And lesson learned here, well, I'm going to knock out anywhere where, let me get back on hybrids. I need to keep it down to 10 or lower. And so we're going to be going into Hestia, we're going to be going to Eugenia, knocking those out. Because with as many systems as they are around, like a group of 12 is not going to be a threat. But when they combine for multiple systems and come in like they were doing, yeah. I've got to keep everything down basically to single digits. Which means those hybrid hive spawners are going to continue to be a priority. But I've just got to clear this stuff out. And of course, I've also got to still get to Mars eventually. So there's still a lot of stuff to do here. Got to wait on metal. You can see we've got a massive negative amount. Hurry up and wait, and I will be not taking any offensive action anytime soon. Right now it's time to survive and clear out the threats. Eventually we did clear out everything that we needed to. Got a couple more hybrid raids in. Knocked out the Mars Super Hybrid. Of course there's another one out there somewhere. And now I have finally decided to expand. This is Ouija Man. Now I've only got my ships that are not fleet ships in here. So starships. I've got the Champion in here. I got the various ships we've gotten from the Nebula missions. And only about a little less than 2/3 of them survived. Started with 90, and I ended up with 68 because I had to come here, 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 here. And so my goal is to eventually conquer this system and take the Zenith power generator. I've decided that I really want the energy. I've debated on that back and forth throughout this game. But I want to use the modular fortresses. I want to be able to do some other things that are going to require the energy. So that will be of benefit in here. And this is a Mark III red AI system, so we don't have to deal with the souped up command stations. Plus, it's of course within striking distance of that homeworld. I may still want to take Yavin, I may not. But I definitely want this one for the energy. And also there's a couple ion cannons in here, which is why I didn't even think about bringing fleet ships in. We're deep striking right now because we're one system too far away. So what I want to do is first of all head straight line for the command station. Let's knock that out right away. We knock out the command station and we're not deep striking anymore. Of course we're also releasing the barracks. And what is being oh, probably my bombers. That's from the Champion. That's fine. But then I just sort of want to float around into open space, deal with the ships that are going to come out from the barracks, wherever that was, down here, and then gradually clear out the system, I hope. Not sure what they're referring to there. Must have lost ships in another system because we're doing fine here. Let's just keep moving. And between the Ninzel and the bombers from my Champion, I really should be able to do a lot of remote damage in here. So this may take a little while, but it should be highly achievable. And I got some parasites, of course. Again, my longer range ships, I'm going to depend on them to clear out some of that. Bunch of Zenith reprocessors. I'm not too happy with that. Hoping we can clear them out before too long. I've only actually lost a handful of ships since I came in here, though. So for all the you know, stuff floating around, we're actually doing fine. Alright, let's come over here. And let's see what this is up here, because this is... yeah, it's an MLRS. If I could take that out, bring in a command station set on top of that, start building up turrets, this could work out very well for me, because everything else in here other than the ion cannons needs to go. Of course, I wouldn't be able to bring in engineers just yet because of the ion cannons, but... and the other thing is, the ion cannons, the way they're positioned, they're probably going to go eventually anyway. So I have to build on top of this, Electra being the strong point of the defense. This is not a great defensive position, but I think it's going to be tolerable. And I need to make it work, because I want that Zenith power generator, and I don't have a better place to get one. And here we are with everything set up. As it turns out, we've got plenty of room. You can see like the range of this is still well short of the wormhole. So I think this is going to work well defensively. Ion cannons down here. This one took some damage while clearing out the system, but it is still fine. So we've got a little more metal, a few more metal harvesters, and yeah, we've got our third system, and it only took us 7 hours to do that. Exciting. So from here, what? Well, I can't just pop right into here because the orbital mass drivers will absolutely tear up. I'm going to have to go in there and clear some things out before I can hit this one, and I probably don't want to do that until I'm getting ready to hit the home world. So I don't think I'm going to really go in that direction next, but we now are within range. This will be most likely our staging system for when we come into Themis. Of course, we're not going to do that anytime soon. I've got the neighboring systems here aren't bad. Cato and Proteus are Mark III. Electra is Mark II. So there's no Mark IV systems to deal with. There are some hybrid facilities nearby, so I'm probably going to want to knock those out. Definitely get scouts in here, get a handle on how many hybrids there are, so I make sure that there's none too much around there. I may hit Mustafar soon for those hybrids, but you can see that we're looking pretty good overall. And in general, yeah, pretty happy about this. I think next up, really, I'm going to want to try to keep expanding. I've got the energy. Probably once I get some metal up, I'll get one or two of those modular fortresses rolling. So I really think it's time to advance further into the galaxy. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to get to Falcorum yet. Europa is still probably a mess. Oh, it's not. It got cleared out. Okay. Well, that path is open. Whatever. But I'm going to need to figure out exactly what I want to take and in what order, because I still would like to get a minimal amount of systems and then work my way in here, but I definitely want to get Falcorum before that. So all those thoughts and debates will be coming up next time. Till then, thanks for watching. More AI War coming up soon.